Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I have a deep respect for the member for Macarthur. I knew of him before I came to this place. I respect his service here and before he entered this place for his contribution to medicine and particularly his paediatric experience. But I do take a different view to him on a number of points raised in this debate. It was the Gillard government that set up the NDIS scheme, but it seems that it's all acclaim and no care with Labor when it comes to fronting up to some very significant challenges that the NDIS have right now. And my good friend and colleague, the member for McPherson, raised a number of those points, including that this federal Labor government have been in power for 4 years now. And so it is important that they take responsibility for parts of the NDIS running very significantly off track. And I have to say, whether it's fuel or the NDIS, this Prime Minister is allergic to responsibility. He is afraid of accountability, and right now there are a number of examples in the NDIS that deserve attention, that need responsibility. It's a scheme that supports nearly 800,000 Australians, including 200,000 Victorians and many people in my electorate of Monash. Labor's failure to properly address the structural problems within the NDIS is leaving some of our most vulnerable Australians in limbo. And instead of fixing the system, Madam Deputy Speaker, we're seeing a heavy-handed attempt to rein in costs. And those attempts are hurting people that this very scheme is designed to protect and support and to help. And in my electorate of Monash, I'm hearing this every single week from local families, carers and people with a disability themselves. Families are contacting my office about delayed plans, reduced support, unpaid invoices and a system that is becoming harder and harder to navigate. And these are not just administrative inconveniences, they're not just paper deficiencies, these are real-world consequences impacting real people. Because when the NDIS invoices go unpaid, providers are left with no choice but to act, and it's participants who are bearing the brunt. I've heard of equipment providers threatening to remove essential mobility equipment because invoices have not been paid. I've seen cases where $100,000 unpaid invoices have forced a care provider to send a participant home, a participant who was stable, supported and safe. That same individual later ended up in hospital following a psychotic episode that put both themselves and their family at risk. Emergency services were called and a hospital bed in an already stretched system was taken up, and all of this could have been avoided. All of this because the system failed that person, that family, that provider and our community. I've spoken with a family who had to take out a loan to urgently purchase medical equipment that was later denied by the NDIS, leaving them $15,000 out of pocket, Madam Deputy Speaker. These are not isolated stories. These are becoming far too common, and I know I'm dealing them with those stories in my electorate of Monash. I know my colleague, the member for McPherson, is dealing with them in his electorate, and I know that members across the chamber, across the parliament, are dealing with them every day of the week. I've got constituents who are too afraid to even request a plan review because they've seen others ask for help only to receive less support in return. I have families who are spending hours, indeed sometimes days, navigating administrative processes, resubmitting documents that have already been provided, not once, not twice, but 3 times or more. Madam Deputy Speaker, this is not what the NDIS was meant to be about. And it's no surprise the scheme's reputation is at an all-time low. Public confidence is shifting, driven by concerns about rotting bureaucracy and spiralling costs. Let's be clear, fraud must be addressed. The government's own Fraud Fusion Task Force has said that up to 10% of NDIS claims may be inappropriate, mischievous or outright criminal. And that should concern every single one of us, because every dollar lost to fraud is a dollar taken away from Australians who genuinely rely on this scheme. But the answer cannot be to squeeze participants and providers who are doing the right thing. The answer must be to front up and fix this system. Instead, what we're seeing is red tape exploding, operating costs climbing, and a system that's become more complex, not less. Australians deserve better, people in my electorate deserve better, and people with a disability deserve far better.